So we came across someone who decided to run chat. I don't know how Chat GPT works or whatever. GBRTP, whatever.
You asked a question, and it just right.
Okay.
Like you can ask it to write a script, like a video essay script about, and then you give it as many details as you want.
So somebody did that, and asked Chat GPT what do they think about the Phantom Initiative? Because we're against Comicsgate and the Fandom Menace, and this stuff, and it's like it basically. I think he asked him like, what is it the solution to those things? And it got an answer,
I'm sure it was reasonable and educated, because something AI has always been good at, I've noticed, is being like really intelligent and like really having like base takes and stuff.
Well, just having like really nuanced opinions too.
Yeah.
Like Skynet, how it's like Skynet's like I need to protect humanity, but wait, humanity's the problem. Annihilate.
We also just need to keep in mind that this could just be a person who doesn't like us who has written a script.
No, dude.
Hasta la vista.
Nuance and context.
Today I want to talk about a topic that has been generating a lot of controversy and drama in the online fandom community.
Really?
I'll take it.
The Fandom Initiative. The Fandom Initiative is a project created by the YouTube channel Organized Chaos and his allies, who claim to be defenders.
Yes, allies. How are you, my fellow allies?
I mean,
you are the leader.
Yes.
It's actually kind of refreshing to not be seen as like the guy that's somehow running the show for once.
That's true. It is a little refreshing, because I'm used to everybody just saying that like I just get like orders from you, and it's like, yeah, if you knew the number of things I did that you don't like.
Yeah, a couple of significant ones, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I'm never going to forgive you for that. No, I'm kidding. Well, I mean, apparently it's the guy who read the thing, because it's not like it reads it out. So the guy read what Chat GPT is supposed to have said, and that's his voice.
I mean,
of diversity, inclusion, and positive.
What now?
I was just gonna say, thing to always keep in mind with AI, and the reason why AI is so stupid is because it literally only knows what you tell it. That's it. That's what it has to base everything on.
I mean, I've been trying to do kayfabe, but this is not an actual thing that Chat GPT said.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to spoil it, but this is just some guy that thought he was being clever, and I guess maybe isn't confident enough in his opinion to like he had to hide it behind this gimmick or something. I'm not sure.
They claim to be against toxic anti-fans, who are people who hate on certain movies, TV shows, games, or comics for various reasons.
Well, depends on the reasons.
Right. There's a lot of things in here. That's why we wanted to save it till later, because there's a lot of stuff that can branch off into conversation that it's surprising amount of things packed into this that are claims that at least I hear pretty regularly.
Yep.
Such as political agendas, personal preferences, or biases. They claim to be exposing and confronting these anti-fans, who they accuse of being hateful, dishonest, and harmful to the entertainment industry. And
well, okay, there's where it starts to really go off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've said before, I think you guys agree, I don't give a fuck really about what the effect it has on the entertainment industry, because really they don't have an effect on the entertainment industry.
Mm-hmm. No, they don't.
Yeah,
they don't affect it. They don't affect it whatsoever. If they did, comics, I don't know, Comicsgate would be bigger than it was, a few years ago, and it's not. The Marvel would have already changed back to just nothing but cis straight white men, and instead they keep doing more woke stuff. Star Wars, like they wouldn't have anything to complain about anymore if they were kind of
like they would not exist anymore if they had changed the entertainment industry. They
would just be regular fan channels talking about how much they love this stuff, right? But yeah, just to clarify, I don't think we care about the entertainment industry primarily because they don't have an effect, but also like we're not, as they like to say, corporate shill. I don't give a shit about what happens with Disney or Marvel or DC. Like, I mean, there would be part of me that like the connection from childhood that like if Marvel suddenly fucking went bankrupt, which isn't even remotely going to happen, but like if it did, I'd be like, that sucks. I'd get over it. That's not what I do this for. What we do this for. The thing we care about is the fandom. I'm not actual entertainment industry. Actual fandom.
Nice. The entertainment industry initiative.
I was happy just talking about movies on my YouTube channel, and then like I start getting lots of toxic comments, and that's kind of why I'm doing this, because this stuff I feel needs addressed.
Justin, I think I've seen you around before, but like, what do you feel like this contributes to the conversation we're having, man?
The Fandom Initiative has targeted several YouTube channels and personalities who are critical of certain.
Okay. So like we said when we first listened to it, that word targeted is a little harsh, but it's not inaccurate, I guess.
Yeah, it's not inaccurate.
No, the word usage is very interesting because it's like we have a lot of claims and then we're targeting. It's just interesting word usage. It's like when you watch old World War II documentaries, especially from the time being like the Frank Capra stuff. You'll notice lots of times the Allies will plan things while the Axis plots things. It's little word usage like that.
Yeah, and sometimes there can be somewhat significant difference in words that seem like they mean the same thing.
Channels and personalities who are critical of certain.
No, they're not. They're not critical. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If it was criticism, okay. Criticism is not what, especially the guys we tend to cover the most often. Not really. When you're lying about the thing, when you're, misrepresenting a thing, when you're zeroing in on the fact that a person of color or a woman or whatever is in some role, and you're saying that like they're using some male character to look goofy to make a female character, like, and it's just all this subjective kind of insane shit that happens in movies and shows. It's always happened more or less. And you want to act like that now it's something that matters because that's not criticism. That's not what it is.
Reviewing and condemning an entire show or movie when all you have is a teaser trailer. They do that all the time. You don't know. You simply don't know.
Entertainment products such as Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Doctor Who.
Nope.
Never mentioned Doctor Who.
Yeah, we've technically never covered Doctor Who.
Do you guys like Doctor Who?
I've seen a lot of Doctor Who, but I'm a few years behind. I've actually not seen any of Jodie Whittaker's.
I tried to get into it, a few years ago, and I couldn't do it. And like, all the elements that are there of things that I like, you know what I mean? But just, I don't know. It's maybe the vibes are just too British or some shit that like.
It is very British.
None of any of our content has ever gone after film critics. Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm trying to think. There might be an exception in my case where like somebody is generally a critic, but they might have said something shitty that I talked about.
Yeah, I know, but for the most part, like we don't go after film critics.
Yeah, well, I mean, earlier in my channel, when I started doing some reaction content, I did get requests to cover John Campea, and I disagreed with some of his criticisms, but I would never put him in the group with these guys because this is a whole different league. Those are just criticisms I disagree with. That
Some of these channels include Nerdrotic, Mauler, The Critical Drinker, Geeks Plus Gamers, and The Quartering. The Fandom Initiative has accused these channels of being part of a group called the Fandom Menace.
Accused them. At one point, they claimed it proudly.
Yeah, if they're not the Fandom Menace, who is?
It seems like they freaking backed off of it, and stopped using it. And Jeremy Griggs flat out said that he doesn't claim it anymore. But nothing about their patterns has changed. They're still
their
doing
rhetoric's
things.
the same.
Yeah,
people.
nothing has changed, and it's also just like it makes sense for them to change up because it's not positive for their it's the same like thought about in Transformers, like the bad guys like they call themselves Decepticons. Like you're not making a case for you to be right, like similar to
Ironic.
like calling themselves the fandom menace, like that, like that's just the bad, like the villain name, so
I feel like that was done to like preempt people calling them out, because it's like, well, we can't be the villains because we named ourselves this.
Yeah.
And like their logo, I don't know if you've seen it, the round one that's got like a stormtrooper that's got Skeletor's face. It's like several different villains iconography in one logo. Yeah.
Which they allege is a coordinated movement of anti-fans who spread negativity, misinformation, and harassment.
True.
So
They
this
work
idea of
together a lot.
negativity, and he says it again more later on, where it's like in a much, they spread negativity, but I think he says something in a minute about we try to eliminate negativity in fandom or some shit. And it's like that's never been anything that I've ever claimed is even possible. It's just a straw man. It's a straw man is what it is. It's just making reductive point.
The Fandom Initiative has also put out a call asking for testimonials on people who were harassed by these channels or their fans. They claim that they are doing this to collect evidence and report these channels to you.
No, we didn't. We did not make that claim. That was not something I intended. If we wanted to report these channels, we could be reporting them all the fucking time.
Yeah.
It's just not something we're trying to do. That was not the point of that. We did collect, by the way, several examples. What's interesting is that you guys remember that chat when I put out that call saying, hey, if you've been harassed or whatever, here's a form you can fill out, describe your experience. So I got a lot of responses. Many of them were people doing what the thing asked, and and then many of them, probably more, I think more, were not that. Were literally people that just couldn't wait to prove it right.
Yeah.
They're like being fucking shitty and saying the N-word and the F slur in the chat, in the form fields and stuff like that. I only looked at a couple of them because they think that, I don't know. What's funny is they go through and fill out the whole form because you have to submit the form. But I don't have to look at the whole form to tell if it's a bullshit entry. So like they're just whatever. Like I can tell a lot of them use a fake email, like actual fandom is a cuck.com or something like that. It's like, oh man, so clever.
That's actually a very popular email domain server.
Yeah, so it's just they couldn't wait to just prove it right, man. Like, thank you guys, appreciate it. This one that was especially cartoonishly stupid was somebody defending EFAP, like, oh yeah, okay, I'm reporting how Mahler and Rags graped my mother, and then this N-word graped me, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, do you think you're representing them well right now?
Yeah. Do you think they look at that and go, oh, I'm glad this guy's part of our audience.
So proud of my fans.
For violating its terms of service.
No, we think YouTube should withhold its terms of service. It should uphold them. That's what we think.
Claim that they are doing this to support and protect the creators and fans who are being attacked by these anti-fans. But are these claims valid? Is the Fandom Initiative really a noble and righteous project?
I don't think I've ever. I doubt you guys have ever called yourselves noble and righteous, right?
No.
Oh, all the time.
No, I kind of consider myself the dumbass that blundered into this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like I just happen to have the, understanding and skill set, whatever, if you want to call it that. Like, this isn't noble or righteous. It's just the thing that people should do. Really. Like, yeah, I understand that not everybody can or has the constitution for it or whatever, but like, it doesn't seem like such a noble or righteous thing to just say, hey man, quit being a piece of shit to other people that you don't know. Like,
yeah,
it just seems like, the logical thing. Hey, if you're going to have a platform, maybe use it, I don't know, mildly responsibly. I don't know. Is that asking too much?
I think, well, I mean, me and Bob both have kids, so like you look at the state of things right now, and you think about the world your kid's going to grow up in, and you see, this going on, and we each happen to have a platform. Like, what else? It's the reasonable thing to do, to think, if somehow I can marginally, like just the tiniest fraction of a bit, make the world my kid lives in a little bit fucking better, that I should try.
Yeah, no, it's actually one of those things I'm kind of scared of, because my son's gotten to a phase where he really likes watching video game videos and stuff like that. Huge on YouTube, man. These things get millions of views. But I'm a little bit paranoid that one day I'm gonna walk in and he's gonna be watching a video and it's gonna be like, a guy playing through Sonic, bitching about Brie Larson or some shit. And it's gonna be like,
Yeah.
shit. That's a fear I have in the back of my mind.
And it's easy to get to that place, especially for young people. And with how YouTube works, it's so easy to just go from gaming videos to gradually getting into this anti-fandom content where they're just screaming about woke and like you said, Brie Larson, and everything is just, modern gaming is ruined because of diversity and representation and stuff. And it's so easy to get there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fortunate that like my kid, I think is to an age and apparently did a pretty decent job of instilling, values and morality, because like I don't think they're at any risk for that, but like I still think this content is fucking indoctrinating a lot of people that my kid has to exist in the world with, and as we talked about in the mission statement, which if you haven't watched it, you should, it has other effects, and we're going to talk about it more in a bit too.
Or is it actually a misguided and hypocritical project? Let's look at some facts and examples. First of all, the fandom initiative is not a solution to combat.
Notice he's like, let's look at some facts and examples, and then notice the things he says here.
And then
Toxic anti-fans. It is actually a source of more toxicity and division in fandoms.
Oh shit! I didn't realize that. Fuck.
Okay. Shit. So the way you deal with toxicity in fandoms is that you let them be, and they will resolve themselves.
Yep, that's it.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah. Makes sense to me. All right, well, I guess we're done, guys. We're gonna, end and cancel our channels now. So just sorry, this guy pointed out that we're actually the toxic ones.
Shit.
We're creating more division, apparently.
Austin was right. I need to delete my channel.
It is an attempt to silence and censor opinions that differ from their own.
Is he pointing at himself? What? Is he pointing at his buddies?
Yeah. I'm fine with opinions that don't agree with my own. There's a billion of them I'm absolutely fine with. I just brought up John Campea. As far as movie reviews go, I don't really like his takes a lot.
Same.
He is not an anti-fan. He is not in the same league as any of these guys. He is just a critic.
A critic who has dumb, bad takes sometimes, but
yeah, I mean, he's not the same as these guys. It's not even close.
Nope. And what the real issue is, and this is why they do this, because they'll try to obfuscate by saying that, like, oh, you just don't like other opinions. No, man, we are opposed to their values or lack thereof, their morality or lack thereof. The fact that they are okay with lying, demonizing, anybody that, of all of the woke category, which whatever that means today or this week. That's the stuff we're against, if it was just them saying opinions that I thought were bad and stupid about media that I like, I'd never even care. I just would avoid it,
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the obvious bigotry in a lot of this stuff. And then just the bullying culture. Oh, this guy has a different opinion. Let's go harass him. No, I think we should all be free to share our opinions, with the exception of bigotry. Bigotry is just, no. It's
really, really, I don't know if it's, I'm sure it's dishonest in some people's cases, but in some others, I think they just do this on purpose. It's the same thing as like how they, will say that actually the left are the racist ones for talking about race so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For acknowledging racism exists. Yeah. And it's like,
Yep.
yeah, how dare we try to solve a problem by acknowledging its existence?
Yeah, basically they're like the I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say
Yeah.
bounces off me and sticks to you.
That is their entire ideology, honestly.
Pretty
No,
much.
you.
It is an effort to smear and demonize people who have legitimate criticisms or preferences.
Evidence, man. Because remember, he started this saying he was going to make facts and evidence.
So I'm curious what the legitimate criticism you have of Brie Larson that requires you to make 200 plus videos about her. I would love to know that.
He doesn't value their opinions. That's what it was.
Oh,
remember? Like I don't care what this specific demographic thinks. That's the unforgivable sin.
Mm-hmm. And you know what I thought when she said that? I thought, okay. And I moved on with my day. I don't care. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it has a lot to do with blurry. Like it's media illiteracy is a problem, bad problem, to where they don't even. In a lot of cases, I think the successful grifter ones up at the top do realize, but there are a lot of channels that aren't so big that they legit think what they're doing is criticizing. I think.
Yeah.
And criticizing is not just saying a thing is terrible and then talking about the production of it being woke and who the producer is and they're woke and
bring up a billion clips from red carpet interviews, which, like, why would you even watch that? Even as somebody who might be a fan of the content, I don't watch that shit. Why are you watching hours on end of that? Just
because it activates that part of them that makes them feel special and happy in a weird way. I think they're part of something. They don't know how to socialize positively or in like in the healthy sense. Basically, they don't know how to care about other people's interests and ask them about their experiences and their perspectives and value that while still having their own experiences and perspectives. And that's why they think that what we're doing is just against their opinions, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Every accusation is a self-report. At least it feels like that.
It is an opportunity to virtue signal and self-promote their own agenda.
Okay. So I keep talking first. I should let you guys say some stuff.
Okay, I'm sick of the virtue signaling stuff. These guys, like the guys we deal with, are like the biggest virtue signalers in the fucking world. There's anytime there's a woman on screen. Anytime.
Signaling.
Yeah.
We're all fucking YouTubers. Like,
yeah.
Like it's part of it. Like,
what is the difference between? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask, what is the difference between? Because he's clearly defending their right to put their opinions out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference between just saying your opinions and saying your agenda? Like it's all. I think Star Wars should do this. Is an opinion and an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like if you're making content and you're telling your opinions repeatedly, your agenda is to make that thing change. Like everybody's got an agenda, man. I mean, it's just using that word in particular, going back to these specific words, makes it sound sinister.
Yeah.
Like, oh, an agenda. He's got on a fucking, notepad and a calendar. Like, oh, on this day, I'm going to say this virtue signal or whatever. Like,
it's like, I'm sure they'd probably say this about that. Like Dave Bautista did that great picture where he wore that rainbow T-shirt saying "just be yourself" and shit. It was awesome. I'm sure they'd probably call that a virtue signal, probably just because they disagree with the politics, but. It just it drives me nuts.
young man in chat seems to have a good head for this situation.
Oh,
no,
he should do a YouTube channel talking about it. He should.
Indeed.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. They bastardize the English language. Like it gets ridiculous. Like all these terms are bad and they don't even mean anything anymore by the time they're done with them.
I mean, if you're saying that it's virtue signaling to say that to call out racism, then you are virtue signaling by saying that.
Mm-hmm.
to the people that agree with you about that.
And it's also worth saying if you're against virtue signaling to call out racism, then are you for virtue signaling for racism? Like,
I mean, then you are virtue signaling for,
yeah.
like.
Well, we know some of them definitely are because they
Racism.
do it, and the audience loves it, and
Oh.
yeah.
Well, it's not like they've talked to the leader of the Proud Boys or anything. So
no.
Yeah.
Channel. For example, the Fandom Initiative has repeatedly misrepresented and strawmanned the arguments and
I love how he's just like using the buzzwords
Yeah.
without giving any fucking.
Yeah, like give me something to dive into here. Give me something with meat. So right now you're just saying words. It's like, okay,
Just saying things.
I get it,
Yeah.
but I mean, he's front loading the whole thing. He's front.
I mean, it also makes it a lot more difficult for us to like specifically debunk it. You know,
There's
When
nothing to
the-
debunk.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like when the claims are so vague, it's just, oh, we're strawmanning. Okay, no examples for us to say actually that's not true, and here's the actual truth. It's just,
Mm.
you know, he uses all the scary words that, like what are we gonna say about it, right? There's nothing to debunk, but other people say,
Mm.
oh, well, yeah. Did they?
Fortunately, though, other people is only about 25 people because not many people have seen this. So
True.
But I mean, even still, the only people that would buy this are people who are inclined to. Right?
Exactly.
And that's, you know, of course, who it's made for. But like, think about like all three of us. We put a good amount of effort into offering, you know, evidence as well as logic, and you know, we lay out our arguments for things, the reasons why we think things. You know, so like, if just saying you're this or that or whatever. That would make us doing straw men, but we don't do that. I mean,
Yeah. And on like we need to work on different standards, you know, because because these channels they know that the people who will agree with them no matter what. Their arguments don't need to be coherent. They don't need to be consistent in what they believe. They can just change up their mind from video to video.
I was going to bring him in, Bob. Damn it!
Oh damn!
I was going to do an intro.
Oh.
I was going to say, well, we might as well pack it in and go home, boys, because there we go. Might as well pack it in and go home, boys, because you know, big dick swinging. Here we go.
Nice.
What an intro.
I did not see that coming. I didn't even know he was here.
I wasn't sure I was going to make it in time, so that's why I didn't. I was listening in. I was like, I couldn't type. I was in the car, but now I'm here. So this has been quite interesting. This take.
This Chat GPT that's really unbiased.
Yeah, non-biased take. Yeah. Well, I don't even know if it's going to come up with examples of straw manning because you know you might be able to dig up a few where I've straw manned people.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
If you can bring it up, I'll either say yeah, you got me, or maybe I'll refute it.
That's
like
fair.
just saying
Like,
in general, I have nothing.
I know for a fact I have made weak ass arguments in my content, especially earlier on. I know that I, you know, did a lot of kind of emotional pleading towards like, oh, that's racist, and like, you know, without really explaining anything and stuff. But like, I've also spent 3 years working on that, and honestly, I'm, you know, kind of at fucking peak form right now. Just kidding. DJ's a little louder today. Okay.
Oh, am I? Do I need to lower it? Am I too loud for you guys?
You sound good to me.
I mean, you're fine. You're a little louder than Bob, but like otherwise, you're fine.
I actually did take quite a bit of journalism. Did you guys take journalism classes?
Nope.
You did, Bob. Yeah.
Actually, no, I did not.
Oh, but didn't you work in some kind of thing? Like,
I did work at a TV station for a while. I've taken English classes. I mean,
all right, I lowered my volume a little bit. Is that better? Is that a little better?
Yeah, you're good.
It sounds the same to me. So.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I've never claimed that I've like every word I've ever said or every argument or claim I've ever made is perfect and you know, beyond reproach, but they don't really ever come at me with that stuff. They don't ever point those out. I also take accountability for whenever I know that in the past I've said something stupid, and I'll either clip it from the video or I'll, you know, there's a few videos that I just privated because I'm like, I don't feel like I'm not confident with that. And
yeah,
that's me being responsible with my fucking platform. You know, and just deciding, you know what, I don't stand behind that as much as I thought I would. So
it's also just ironic this video calling us straw manners,
right.
When it's basically what it's doing too.
Still waiting on the facts
literally
and
what
evidence.
it's doing. It's literally
Positions of the channels they criticize. They have also resorted to personal attacks.
No, sample's great. No.
Yeah, I've resorted to personal attacks for sure. Probably more than both of you guys combined. So.
Probably.
I try to avoid it, but I'm
I've tried to do better lately. Yes, pretty much since the initiative started, I've really been mindful of it. Like, you know what? It's not just me that this reflects on when I talk mad shit. So, like,
well, I mean, what do we classify as a personal attack? Is it like something that is specifically about a person, or could they be talking about who that person is? Like, for example, if they're going after like the queer community and saying they're all predators, would that be a personal attack on me because I am queer? Could I say, well, that's why I say what I say, because if you're going to talk about me personally, then I'm going to respond that way. You know what I mean? Is that a fair statement, or is that overreach?
I think there's a logic there. Absolutely.
I didn't even catch it that personal attack doesn't really, like, I kind of took it for granted what I think it means.
Yeah.
Which is that I maybe said something about, I did make a couple of jokes about Ethan's physical something before. Not my best look, but I know you guys should hear what Turf says whenever we're not on stream, though. Like, holy shit, dude, he's just constantly.
It's amazing. It's a completely different person.
Can't just throw me under the bus like
and
that.
Name calling. They have.
So what he probably means by name calling includes like racist and sexist and
Yeah. Triggered snowflake.
Oh, you mean descriptions, not names?
Yeah.
That's describing something. That's not calling someone names.
I mean,
at home.
I think they're apt descriptors. I mean, I'm sorry if like Jeremy Griggs doesn't want to be called a racist, maybe I don't know, stop being racist.
Well, I mean, if you're not a racist, don't spew racist stuff. Like that's what I've said for a while now. Like I don't want to call someone something, but if that's what you're doing, not going to be hyperbolic, not all of the time, but if it's something that you do regularly, then how am I supposed to take that? Are you refuting something? Are you going, hey, here's this racist stuff, and then in another video you're like, but we shouldn't be racist in this context? No, it's just racist stuff, racist stuff, racist stuff. So what am I supposed to take away from that? At what point do you actively become the thing that you're talking about? Like, how much is it? You know what I mean?
It's like I argued to fucking Adam and Sitch's dumbasses whenever we went on their channel, and they were like trying to paint us as just if we just don't like somebody, somebody says one thing that we'll call them a racist or whatever. And it's like, I've never ever made a video or said in a video that like some YouTuber or something is a racist after seeing them say or do one specific thing.
Right. Yeah.
I got to look at patterns, and it's what I do. It's the way to do it. And we talked about
what's a pattern?
Suggested we should do a stream about that.
How many times does it take for the pattern to qualify?
Yeah, I mean I think that's exactly what he asked. It's like, well, you just kind of gotta get a vibe for it, get that vibe, that racism vibe. Yeah. It basically, like if somebody repeatedly does a type of thing and then they've been called on it and like they just double down and even like start to insult the people that called them out. Yeah, at that point you're a racist,
Well, I mean, they're very comfortable calling like creators things, right? So if a creator makes gay characters, then all of a sudden they're woke creators. So how do they determine that? From a pattern of content they've made that makes them believe that those people are woke. So if they can use that same criteria for how they categorize people, then why is it wrong for other people to do that? It's this
because rules for thee and not for me.
Because they don't like it.
They understand what a pattern is when they want to assign something, but when we try to use that, all of a sudden we're picking on people.
Yeah, we're trying to cancel them and silence them and so on and so forth.
Yes, because it's something we've been effective at doing. I make no qualms about it. My goal is just to kind of point it out, like, because I'm not even 100% sure what the next step is, but all I know is that this is a problem. This needs to be addressed.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's also
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's just like a lot of like these people that they know that the things we call them are are bad. You know, they know that racism is bad, that transphobia is bad, right? Because they know, right? Like someone like Eric July with his recent videos, like he's obviously transphobic. He does not like trans people, right? But still, I'm pretty sure he would not agree if we called him transphobic, because they know that it's wrong to be these things, right? Even though they fit those descriptions perfectly.
And you know what, Turf? I would actually, I'm saying this maybe a little cynically, but I would have more respect for them if they would just say what they are. Like, if you come out and say transphobic stuff and you get called transphobic and you're like, yeah. You know what I mean? If you did that, at least then we wouldn't be playing this game. Like, then we would know exactly what we're dealing with. But the fact that they call us disingenuous for calling them out, but then they pretend not to be these things makes it hard to take anything they say in good faith. Because what argument are you making at that point? Are you hiding who you are so you can like say all this stuff when you could just come out and say, this is how I feel? But they don't do that. They use smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. It's similar to something we talk about a lot on here about, you know, grifters versus people who actually believe this stuff. You know, if there's someone who's a fascist and they're like just fully like, yeah, I'm a fascist, or they're just racist, I believe that racist people should not exist, right? And then there are people who are grifting, right? They pretend like they know that this is bad, but they're still fine with it, right? They still play into it. Like it's sometimes I almost have more respect for the people who just are who they are rather than people who are just being dishonest about it.
Well, yeah, because I mean, at least then, like, dude, at least they have the courage of their convictions, right? They are proud of, like, I mean, it's a terrible thing to be proud of, but at least they're not hiding it behind you know, obfuscation and, like, you know, what they'll often say if you say, you know, oh, well, you're clearly transphobic, is like they'll make the stupid argument because they don't understand what phobia means, that like I'm not actually scared of them or whatever, and it's like it's absurd. They're absurd.
Yes.
When I debated that T-Rev guy, and he was like, you know, he says, when you call someone a racist, you know, an ism, that's like a terrible thing, you know, and like, you know, that's just awful. And I'm like, wait a second. Like the way he described it was like, almost like it's a stain on your soul to be called a racist. And I was like, wait, do you think that like because he said it's evil. Racism is evil. To call someone racist is evil. And I'm like, well, okay, sometimes, but generally when racism is a collection of biases. And if those biases are pointed out to you and you have the opportunity to go, oh, I do have these biases, and work through them. No, you know, cool. You know, a lot of people are born into cultures that are just full of racism and they don't know any better until they do know better. Right. And what you do at that point really defines you. Like, but if you go, nah, fuck that, and you still keep saying the same stuff, then yeah, you're kind of like, I mean, I don't believe in like evil in the metaphysical sense, but like an effect is evil, I think.
Yeah.
And you're contributing to a social effect that functionally is evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think we also have to look at the fact that like they make good money doing this. Like this whole YouTube grift thing, there's a reason why they're doing this. They're doing it for money. This is capitalism, baby.
Do you think there's a bit of fence sitting in what they're doing? Like they're trying to like sort of not necessarily 100% put their foot on one side of the fence with this so they can continue to like run the line? Or do you think there's something else happening there?
There's something, I mean, so it's all beneficial to them to even to be called that, and then to do the arguments, the bullshit arguments that they do. It all benefits them because it allows them to play victim, which they love. It allows them to paint us as like these, you know, censorious, you know, witch hunters who are like out to get them.
They have also used deceptive editing, selective quoting, and out of context clips to make their targets look bad.
I don't think I've used any deceptive editing. I definitely have used selective quoting because, I mean, when a certain quote, it doesn't matter that it's selected. Like it's selected because it is a specific thing that he said. Somebody said, like,
I mean, what are we supposed to do? Play entire 3-hour live streams and then go, now let's talk about this one thing. Like it's
Well, what this guy is doing by using these words, by the way, you know, saying that we're deceptive editing, like really, what it is a form of this.
Hasta la vista.
Nuance and context. I feel challenged right now, like, to find a clip. I mean, I have plenty, and just say, is there any context that this would be okay in, kind of thing, right?
Well, hell, they're more than happy to defend Ryan Cannell, saying he's taking points off the Batman because of black characters. So I don't. It's like, what do you people want? What do you?
I mean, also, like, if this person is talking about misrepresenting clips in their videos, like Greg mentioned in chat, Drinker's Glass Onion video is like a prime example of just exactly doing that, misrepresenting whole scenes just to make a stupid argument about why the movie's bad.
True.
I remember watching that Drinker video and being really confused why there was such quality differences between the different clips, and then like when I figured out, oh, he's doing a weird misrepresenting thing. That's what it is. That's what he's being lazy about it too. He could have.
I can't even show some of these clips that I have because I haven't censored them, and I don't want to get the like. That should tell you that it's not like there's no context or whatever. There's no selective editing or selective insanity.
I don't really edit anything, so pretty much just me talking shit. That's pretty much what they are. So I don't.
Well,
really
so if you've always seen the mission statement, a lot of the more choice clips that I've found, well, some of them anyway, are in that.
Yeah, it is a lot if you do like streamed content, it's also a lot easier to show the full context of the clips that you respond to compared to like a video essay where you don't want to just put in a 6-minute video and then respond to, like you have to choose.
I mean, if you're responding to like a 3-hour live stream, that would end up being like a 7-hour video. Nobody's going to sit and watch a 7-hour video all the way through.
Exactly.
No one's going to do that.
Well, that's the thing. There's
always
always
told me I have to do that.
They're always going to change the change the conditions of things, right? Like it doesn't. Nothing is ever enough evidence to support any claim.
But a 1-frame clip with a protect trans kid flag is not out of context and completely understandable to spend hours and hours and hours of video content on.
Yeah.
But
of course,
that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
something that they must have had a field day when somebody finally spotted it and said, "Oh, we can make content on this." Because it's like I watched that trailer, I enjoyed it. I didn't see that. I
learned my lesson. I had someone that did a video response to me as a short, and I made like a 20-minute video response to them explaining in great detail all the things that they complained about on my channel. And they were like, ha ha ha, you made a 20-minute video over a 1-minute short. And I'm like, so is it too much context at that point? I mean, like, what is the like, what's the metric on that? Like, I did all of that in good faith, hoping that I could explain my position, and it ended up just being they didn't watch the video and laughed at it. So
I am
a little weird.
See, Mikey, that's we've been talking a lot about that because that's what I've historically done. I'm just like, I don't have any patience for it. There's plenty of places on the internet where you can go say crazy shit or whatever, and like that's not the space I'm trying to develop. And kind of just by accident, and I feel fortunate for it, I've developed a pretty awesome community of people, that are like of all types who feel safe in my community because there's not many places they can go without hearing that kind of shit. But lately we're trying to reach people. We're trying to. We're not just trying to like, this is our side, that's your side, fuck you, let's fight. It's like there's people, there's shades of gray, and that, like, not everybody has the ability to or privilege to operate in those shades of gray, but I think us being, cis white men, we do, and that kind of have an obligation to. I feel like that. Not everybody is so far over to the right that they're just like, I fucking hate trans people. They maybe just don't have any, they're ignorant. And if you can reach them in the right way, then yeah. So try not to ban everybody. Let's try and finish this sucker off here.
Also ignored or dismissed any evidence or counter arguments that challenge their narrative. 123.
123. I don't know what that
He
means.
just likes that number.
No idea.
I don't know. I've never. If there's evidence or something that they think that just providing some kind of counter should be enough, no matter what.
Yeah.
Is that what this is like? If someone, if I make a claim and you're like, here's actual, you know what? I got an example. In the video I made about Richard Meyer when he launched his 5th Indiegogo campaign, despite having 4 that were late open. And I was just like, when I heard he launched that 5th one, I was like, oh my God. And I had to make a video. I was like, and it's literally says so much scam it's on my channel. And the surfs actually boosted that one. So it got a lot of views. But in it, I saw where he had allegedly made a donation to the Trevor Project at one point, something like $10,000. And I was like, okay, well, and in the video I said, look, I don't know. Maybe he did make that donation. I haven't seen any evidence of it. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he never did. As soon as the video finished premiering, I got an email from Richard Meyer, like the moment the video ended, and he had sent me receipt. He showed me that he did. He's, of course, he had made hundreds of thousands of dollars for Indiegogo campaigns, and meanwhile talking shit on, trans and queer people. And so, it's not like it really changes anything, but he did. He made the donation, and when he sent, I was like, you know what? Okay. And I excised that portion from the fucking video where I said that, where I casted doubt on that. I will do that in any example that someone's able to provide evidence that I was wrong. So
That sounds too reasonable. Don't do that.
I know, I really shouldn't. I should just...
These are not honest or respectful ways of engaging in fandom discourse.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's how I would describe what we respond to: honest and respectful discourse. Whenever you're screaming about everybody being a diversity hire, that's honest and respectful discourse, right?
For context of who this guy is, because we knew this when we watched it yesterday, already in this point. And so, this is an Eric July fan. Can you imagine somebody who's like a big Eric July fan and who makes a bunch of videos about Eric July and stuff and how awesome he is or whatever, telling you that you're, I don't know, engaging disrespectfully or something, whatever he said? What?
Yeah.
I want to point out so far in this video that we've been listening to, we have not heard a defense of anything in terms of topics or anything like that. It's strictly discussing whether or not people should have opinions. Mm-hmm. That's all this is. How people engage with opinions and stuff like that. This is literally a nothing talking point. This entire video is like, this is how they talk. This is how we respond. This is how they respond. Where is the defense of anything that matters? There's nothing in this that talks about that.
The reason that I felt like it would be good to discuss is because this is basically a lot of the comments that we get all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. My point is, though, that this is what I deal with on my channel now all the time, arguing whether or not the engagement is right. Should we do this? Should we not do that? And it's such a dumb talking point. We're on YouTube. We're on social media. People engage with each other. Why they do it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, you mean when they say stuff like, why are you, can't you make content that doesn't have to be about some other YouTuber? And it's like, can't you make content that doesn't have to be about some movie franchise?
So I can't talk about another YouTuber, but they can talk about celebrities. They can talk about movies. I can't address
YouTubers too. They do that.
They can talk about people on Twitter. Right, but the minute we talk about one of them, there's this weird... I don't want to say goalpost. There's a weird metric on how we're allowed to engage them, and it's just a dumb fallacy argument. It none of that matters. If you imagine from their perspective, it's like they see the world as like everybody has a target on them, and then they're like they have some kind of force field around themselves, and you can't go out into our force. There's rules for how we engage them, but they're allowed to do anything they want. For example, when they get into an argument on Twitter with someone and they start punching down, that is looked at like, oh, they're just biting back. But if someone with lower numbers than them argues with them, it's clout chasing. Why is that? It is a dumb, just the argument itself makes no sense whatsoever. It is an argument that those guys have created that their minions just keep repeating over
Because they
and
don't
over
have
and over again.
they don't have arguments. They have tactics,
Yes.
like
Hasta la vista.
nuance and context. Thought terminating cliches. That's like, I don't know, more than half of what they do is that.
This is a great example. I mean, I'm not saying that we shouldn't like talk about it. Absolutely, I think it's interesting, but it's just very telling that the argument is whether or not we should be able to respond to them and the relevancy of that and the validity of that. Yeah.
These are not constructive or helpful ways of addressing fandom issues.
I disagree. I think we, for the most part, we do engage and address these things constructively.
I mean, the thing is, he's saying these are not constructive ways of. He hasn't explained what
made no.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
And
these are.
That's what I mean.
That's
what I
he's,
mean.
Yeah, and then what he's doing is also not constructive because he hasn't said anything. You know,
These are not constructive ways. 2 minutes into the video and not even tackled one thing yet.
Yeah, no, he you know, we straw man people apparently, you know, we're apparently
virtue signals, we're like
yeah,
all the buzzwords.
Bro.
Like, can you give me some examples? Give me something. Like, all you're doing is declarative statements. It's like, might as well have the next line be like, you're a poopy head. It's like, okay, cool.
Like
Okay.
a person watching this without any idea of like what the fandom initiative is or what any of these other channels are would have no fucking clue. Like, you know, from like a video essay point of view, like you haven't shown anything. It's just words.
It's really easy to run defense for your fave channel and do absolutely nothing. I'm just going to throw myself in front of the bullet and do nothing. That's really what those videos are. And there's a couple of channels that I don't even engage with anymore because they've started like reacting to, you know, some of my clips and stuff. And it's just the same stuff, man. It's the same stuff over and over again. And I even made videos where I'm like, look, like last week I made a video, maybe not even last week, just a few days ago. I made a video where I was like, this is a video where if you have any genuine questions about me personally, the gay community, my opinions on some of this content, and you want an honest discussion with me, come to this video, leave a comment, and we will engage that way. And none of them responded to that video, but they're on every other video that I made because they don't want an honest conversation.
Yeah, no.
They don't want to have a chat about it.